Hi team. So, more training at home. It's all right. I'm going to keep putting many ideas in your heads for things to do so you don't get bored. You know, at the end of the day, we can't make the mats, so we've got to do what we can. That's okay. If you do what you can actually improve. You've just got to keep at it and go at it with the right mindset. So today, we're going to do some training just with a gi. That's all you need is your gi jacket. Even if you only have one gi, well then just don't wear your gi and just grab your gi jacket and do this in any casual clothes you want. So it takes a little bit of, firstly we're going to be training our fingers and our forearms and our core and our balance. And it takes a little bit of visualization, okay? So you start to picture in your mind or imagine in your mind doing these moves without somebody, okay? It takes a bit of practice, but it is a really good exercise to do. There was many years where I was training jiu-jitsu and I was always at the first on the mat because I went straight from work and I got there first. So I always had 40 minutes to do a lot of drills, and did a lot of wall drills and a lot of these gi drills and a lot of the bridging and all that sort of stuff, which was in one of the other videos. And I'll show all this stuff, and I did it for many years, and I do believe it helped. I really do. So, firstly, we're going to grab our gis, the cuffs or the sleeves, and we're going to do our correct grips. Yeah, we all know that you can't put your fingers in the gi. That will get you a penalty. Can't do that. So make sure your fingers are rolling outside the gi. You got two choices. I'm going to be using the 4-finger grip on the outside, okay, like this. Make sure you just don't have those fingers in. The other one you can do is like a pistol grip. So you grab the gi and you hold it like this, yeah? So you're holding just the gi. But don't do a grip that's completely never going to be used, because now your opponent's hand can't get through. So that would be really a grip that's rarely ever used, and it's not really benefit. So you can go pistol grip, which would be grabbing about half the sleeve, and you've still got a little bit of the cuff left, so someone's wrist could be through there, or you could do the 4 fingers. You choose. Today I'm practicing the four fingers. When I roll, I do a little bit of both, okay, when I'm rolling. But this one, I think it's a little bit more beneficial. I'll tell you why, because I think it puts a little bit more stress on your hands and fingers, which is what you're gonna need to keep strengthening that part of your body. So, 4 fingers, nothing in the gi, okay? Now, we're gonna put our feet basically where your training partner's elbows would be if you're rolling, okay? Now, I also like my feet just to be hanging, my toes, sorry, just to be hanging over the top of the sleeve. So not toes gone, toes just hanging over. And I use my toes as little hands, or like picture my toes as fingers, and I'm holding onto the gi as well. And you can start to adapt this when you're actually rolling live as well. So it's a good little practice, okay? Now, to start off, you just start taking some deep breaths is always good, and just start pulling on the sleeves and just getting some tension through that sleeve on your fingers, yeah? Just start picturing that, you know what, I'm doing what I can, I'm doing jiu-jitsu, you know? And for your jiu-jitsu career, you're not always going to be able to get to the mat. So one of those nights where you couldn't get to training for whatever reason, go home and do some study, when everything's back to normal, I'm talking. Go home and do some study, and while you're studying, just have your gi in your hand and start doing things like this. That means you've done something for the day, and you've probably improved. Great, you know? So these habits aren't just for when this virus is around. These habits are something you can do forever, okay? So we're pulling here. Training at home. Training at home's fine. Just pulling, getting some good tension through those fingers. Waking up those forearms, okay? Next stage, we're gonna rock back and forth. Now when we rock back and forward, my toes are still hanging over and I'm pulling my knees to my chest. Or sorry, my knees to my shoulders more so. And trying to make no space between my leg and my chest. Trying to hide that space. Good luck getting past someone's guard who can compress this very tight. The other thing, don't have your hips up high. Try and avoid having your hips like this, you know. Try and have your hips flat and do this. and keeping that balance in your back. In all these drills we're going to do today, we've got a few little sequences. You never want to lose your balance and have that happen, okay? Always keep the back on the mat. Okay, so just pulling, now sitting up. This is sort of the stage one, pulling in. Sitting up, rocking back, pulling in. Keeping that tight tension on those fingers. Sitting up, rocking back, pulling in. Cool. So you're playing, you know, this spider guard. You're still practicing your spider guard and your grips. Even if you don't play spider guard, it's still good to work on your grips. Pulling in. Now the next stage, a little bit harder. The whole time we're keeping tension on our gis, on our fingers. Now we're going to push one leg and pull the other, but still both sleeves are pulling. So I'm still keeping both sleeves tight. One leg's pushing, one leg's pulling. Pulling in, pulling my knee to my shoulder. And then I switch sides. Make sure you don't lose that balance now. Stay flat on your back. Switch sides. Switch sides. Switch sides. Trying to straighten that leg right out now and compress the other leg right in. Switch sides. Now you can do it rocking back. Forward, up, and then side to side. And back. And back. Boom. Boom. Now a little bit more difficult. Try and roll and change the angle. Boom. Boom. Making sure you're keeping that balance. One more is a guard called lasso. All right, this is a very good guard. It's a nightmare to pass if you have a good lasso. My God, if you have that lasso, when someone gets a good lasso on me, I can't stand it. Yeah, so you want to have a good lasso. It's so hard to pass, and this is practicing hooking up the lasso. This is maybe where the most beneficial part of practicing this. So if you have to visualize now, like I said at the start of the video, visualize. You've got your opponent or your training partner here, okay, and they're putting a lot of pressure in. You're going to hook up a lasso. So one leg straightens, one leg comes off. Make sure it's still tight. Yeah, make sure everything's still tight. Now what you're going to do is come over, around, and through. So now I've hooked up on the sleeve. It's very hard for someone to pass here. Yeah, over, around, and through. Keep pulling in. Keep this hand in nice and tight here. Okay, keep it nice and tight to your hip, not down on the hip here. It's a nightmare for someone to pass. Unwind, come back, put it on, pull. Okay, so now pulling with one here, over, around, and through. And look, my hand is right in my hip here. The little secret to having a good lasso is pulling it into the hip and curling your forearm down around your leg here. So here. Yeah, now this is going to be a nightmare for you to pass. Out, over, back around. Here. Pulling. Here. Tight. Now you can start to combine the lasso with all the techniques. You can sit up, rock to the side, push, pull, sit up, on your back, pull in, hold, tension, 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 sit up, kick out, lassoed up, already, no one's passing today, come back, back in there, start to keep that, keep pulling on those sleeves, compress in, here, there, come back. And there we go. So that's a good little exercise. And I'm really feeling my fingers tired now. I've done a couple of videos with this, and yeah, that's really woken my hands up like I've actually had a match. So good stuff, guys. Missing you all, of course, but you know, we'll be back on the mat and back to normal before you know it. Just keep working on what we can. That's all you can do. Yeah, keep working on what you can. I'll see you soon. Miss you heaps. Get your training